Have you ever felt caught, squarely between the rock of maintaining stable, reliable systems and, well, the hard place of needing to innovate rapidly just to stay competitive?
Oh, absolutely. It's a tension that really defines modern IT leadership, isn't it?
It really is a classic strategic dilemma. Something every CIO, every IT manager, frankly, anyone aspiring to lead in tech will face.
Definitely.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're not just scratching the surface. We're taking a full deep dive into Chapter 17, Innovation, from Robert B. Austin, Richard L. Nolan, and Shannon O'Donnell's updated adventures of an IT leader.
Great book, that one.
It is. And our mission today is to pull out those crucial, actionable insights, looking specifically through the lenses of organizational management and IT issues.
Right. The goal being to equip you, whether you're a grad student tackling case studies or a professional, sharpening your strategic thinking for those key roles in IS, IT service management, and digital transformation.
Exactly. And as we unpack this today, I really invite you to think about how these insights might resonate in your own world, your own leadership journey.
Yeah, maybe you'll find a framework that clicks or just a fresh angle on an old problem.
Hopefully. And if you do find it valuable, please follow, share it, reflect on it. Your engagement really does fuel these deep dives.
So where do we start? This dilemma is huge, and the chapter, well, throws us right in the deep end with Jim Barton, the CIO at IVK Corporation.
Right. He's facing a real moment of crisis, staring down what the text calls a technological Tower of Babel.
That's such a vivid phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
Tower of Babel.
It really paints a picture. We're talking years, maybe decades, of different business units just buying whatever software and hardware they wanted independently, impulsively.
Leading to total chaos, incompatible systems, duplicated effort, just massive technical debt.
And the key thing here, the insight, is that this technical debt isn't just a line item on a budget. It's a strategic anchor. It physically stops IT from shifting focus from just keeping the lights on.
It's actually lighting the way forward. Yeah. And this kind of fragmentation, the book points out, it leads to blame games when things break. It just undermines IT's credibility entirely. Makes the job so much harder.
And this anchor, this chaos, it couldn't come at a worse time for Jim Barton, because the pressure from the top is immense.
Right, specifically from Carl Williams, the CEO. Williams isn't just looking for, the usual cost savings anymore. He's really challenging Barton. He wants IT to pivot.
A major pivot. From being seen as a bottom line cost center, efficiency, saving money, to becoming a top line growth engine.
Exactly. Driving new revenue, radically improving customer experiences, maybe even launching new digital products.
So Williams wants a complete paradigm shift. He sees IT as a potential competitive weapon, not just back office support. That's a huge expectation.
Massive. And it reflects what we see everywhere now, right?
Yeah.
Tech-led change is, like the book says, an urgent imperative separating winners from losers.
We saw that so clearly during the pandemic. Digital was the lifeline. But the immediate problem for Jim is, how do you convince anyone, your own team, let alone skeptical business units, that IT can deliver top-line impact when it's drowning in its own legacy mess?
Precisely. It shows IT's strategic role isn't optional anymore. It's fundamental to how the business operates. But the irony for Barton is just stark.
Yeah.
How can his IT department drive these cool, innovative projects when they're struggling with basic infrastructure chaos?
Yeah, the openness that maybe allowed some scattered innovation also created this crushing maintenance overhead.
And that leads straight to the core organizational problem. No real unifying enterprise architecture, tons of duplication, integration nightmares,
Right.
all symptoms of a historically weak, fragmented IT strategy.
That organizational mess really comes into focus when Barton and his team try to figure out how to tame this hodgepodge of systems. The book walks through 3 standardization approaches they mull over, each with big organizational implications.
Okay, so first up, voluntary compliance. Sounds nice, right? Collaborative, relying on goodwill, trying to gently persuade business units to follow standards.
But Barton knows, realistically, that's probably a non-starter. People support standardization in theory, but when it comes to their pet system or their way of doing things...
Cooperation vanishes, right? The issue is lack of accountability, competing priorities. Short-term unit needs almost always trump long-term strategy in that model. It rarely works at scale.
Then there's the opposite, strict enforcement, the hammer approach. Central IT just mandates standard platforms.
Barton technically has the power to do that, but he anticipates, serious pushback.
Oh yeah, cries of red tape immediately. Business units arguing it stifles their flexibility, their creativity.
And the real danger isn't just the initial fight. It's creating that toxic us versus them culture. IT, seen as the blocker, not the enabler. It can smother creativity. That classic stability versus agility tension again.
And the third option, sort of the middle ground, is gradual migration.
Right? Categorizing tech into tiers. Core stuff to standardize, other stuff to phase out, maybe some experimental things you tolerate. Sounds diplomatic, balanced.
It does, but the downside. While it might smooth things over politically, it's often just too slow. It lacks urgency.
Especially when the CEO, Williams, is demanding rapid innovation. Slowness itself becomes a strategic liability. You're trading political ease for critical speed.
And what's really interesting is Barton's realization that this isn't just a technical choice, it's fundamentally organizational.
Deeply. It touches teamwork, process design, that whole delicate dance between business unit autonomy and central IT control.
He can see the communication breakdown looming, that IT versus the business fight that's haunted IVK. He gets that real change needs more than just new tech. It needs a new way of working together.
And that extends right down to the human level, doesn't it? His IT staff's morale. The book mentions they'd been through the ringer.
Absolutely. Prior CIO ousted, security crises, budget battles, constant change.
No wonder turnover was bad. Talented people were leaving, heading for startups, maybe offering more agility, more sense of purpose.
So Barton, as a leader, gets it. To stop the bleeding, to actually foster innovation, he needs to build an environment where people feel empowered, where they can experiment, even fail safely sometimes.
And where they see how their work actually connects to business value. It's about psychological safety, creating real impact.
Which ties right into thinking about process design. Barton starts mulling over Agile, thinking about 2 pizza teams.
Not just buzzwords, right? It's a real shift. Smaller, cross-functional teams, clear goals, cutting through bureaucracy to deliver value iteratively.
He even thinks about setting up an innovation council, getting IT and business folks in the same room to share ideas, prioritize initiatives, align strategy.
The goal being to head off shadow IT by making IT a partner in creating value. Not just the standards police, it's about co-creation, moving beyond enforcement.
Okay, so shifting gears a bit, from those big organizational dynamics to the more personal management issues, Barton's own reflections are pretty telling.
Yeah, his journey, coming into the CIO role mid-crisis, learning from past mistakes like that time, he vetoed a crucial security upgrade. It shows real humility.
And adaptability.
Yeah.
It's a great reminder that leaders aren't perfect. They learn, often the hard way.
And it's that humility, I think, that lets him really confront this agility versus stability paradox directly. It's such a universal IT management headache.
And the concept of bimodal IT comes up, mode 1 for stability, mode 2 for rapid innovation, as a potential fix.
But what's fascinating is Barton's kind of skeptical about it being too simple. He sees the potential pitfalls.
Like what?
Well, how do you stop mode 1 just becoming the dumping ground for all the boring, unsexy maintenance? Or mode 2 becoming this isolated elite innovation island?
Right, creating new silos instead of breaking them down. That us versus them culture again.
Exactly. It points towards needing more like multimodal flexibility. Different approaches for different needs, but all under one cohesive strategy. The question is, how do you get control and agility without creating those fault lines?
And this is where that wisdom from an unexpected place comes in. Calvin, the junior dev, who's also a bartender. Love that part.
Me too. Calvin tells us a little fable, right? About a king obsessed with his maps.
Yeah, the king gets so wrapped up in his models, his frameworks, he forgets about the actual territory, his kingdom.
Until a wise traveler tells him, treat each map, each model, as just one tool in a toolkit. Use it when it fits the terrain, put it away when it doesn't.
Brilliant analogy for leadership. It really hits home for Barton.
It does. It's like a jolt. These frameworks, iTool, Agile, bimodal, whatever, they're just tools. They aren't absolute truths.
Which leads him to this toolkit approach to management. Flexible, pragmatic, not rigid or dogmatic. Understanding the right tool for the right situation.
And Calvin's other point about management constantly shifting gears, sometimes strict process, sometimes agile skunkworks, it highlights how vital clear communication is.
Absolutely. Explaining the why. Why this strategy now? Why are we pivoting? That helps teams navigate the shifts, reduces confusion, builds buy-in. Otherwise, people just feel jerked around.
Right. It's about feeling part of a mission, even when it evolves.
And this whole picture really underscores the CIO's role today. It's so multifaceted. Guardian of stability, yes, but also champion of innovation. Diplomat, communicator, strategist.
There's that dual imperative. Perform today, fix the foundations, optimize and transform for tomorrow, drive innovation, secure the future.
Which means IT leaders have to be at that main strategy table, speaking the language of business outcomes, growth, agility, customer experience, not just tech jargon.
And it's not just top-down strategy either. Barton realizes he needs ways for ideas to bubble up from the bottom.
Kelvin's comment about developers having great ideas but being too busy fighting broken systems, that really lands.
Yeah. So things like hackathons, internal innovation contests, they're not just fun and games. They're another crucial tool for the kit. They surface insights, foster creativity, build ownership.
Okay, let's drill down a bit more into the specific IT issues. How do established frameworks fit into this stability versus agility mess? Take ISIL.
Right, ITIL. Its benefits are clear, especially for a chaotic place like IVK was. Process discipline, standardization, better incident, and change management. It brings much-needed order, reliability, efficiency.
It helped tame the free-for-all. But the flip side, as Barton sees, is that if you apply it too rigidly, it can create this bureaucracy that just slows everything down, stifles innovation.
The chapter even quotes an AWS blog saying something like, "Modern business is all about agility. All things ITIL lacks." Which might be a bit harsh, but
It makes the point. The challenge isn't whether ITIL is useful, it's knowing its limits, its bounded rationality. It provides essential structure, but can become a barrier if leaders aren't smart about how they apply it, adapting it.
it's about finding that balance, knowing when to be strict, when to be flexible.
So what about enterprise architecture, EA? How does that fit in?
Well, EA is that strategic blueprint, right? Aligning IT investments with the business strategy, cutting complexity, promoting reuse, all good efficiency stuff.
But it's more than just efficiency, isn't it?
Exactly. What's really powerful is that a strong EA can also be a major innovation driver. It gives you that clear map of the whole landscape. Where can new tech fit best? Where are the integration points? Where should we target resources for the biggest impact?
So a good EA lets IT be, as the book says, both an innovation engine and a stabilizing force, provides guardrails for smart experimentation.
That's the potential, yes. It allows IT to be both. And then, of course, there's Agile.
Which seems almost custom-built for the innovation side. Fast sprints, iterative delivery, cross-functional teams.
Yeah, the chapter notes Agile methods have significantly boosted IT project success rates. Barton thinks about piloting an Agile project for something clearly revenue-generating, like a customer analytics tool or a mobile app.
A proof point. Show, don't just tell, what fast IT can do. Demonstrate agility in action.
The challenge, of course, is scaling Agile, integrating it with legacy systems, changing the culture to embrace iteration and learning from failure. That's harder.
And this whole toolkit mentality, it really extends beyond the specific frameworks in the book, doesn't it? Think about today's landscape.
Absolutely. Managing AI and generative AI risks, integrating all sorts of new tech, constant cybersecurity threats, cloud cost complexities, data governance, compliance.
In all those areas, the toolkit approach means being smart, applying strict standards where absolutely critical security, data integrity, compliance, you can't compromise there.
But also allowing more freedom, more experimentation, where you need that creativity and speed to get ahead.
Exactly. And it's this blend, understanding the organization, refining the management toolkit, applying IT frameworks intelligently. That's how IT really reclaims its seat at the table.
Yeah, moving beyond just keeping the lights on to actually co-creating real business value with technology, lighting the way forward.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into innovation. We've explored the complex dance between stability and agility in IT and how maybe embracing that toolkit mindset offers a path for strategic leaders in today's digital world.
And as you continue on your own journey, perhaps in your BCIS 5381 course or your day-to-day role, here's something to think about. What's one tool from your IT leadership or management toolkit? Maybe a process, a framework, a mindset that you find toughest to balance between stability and agility right now?
And how might looking at it through that toolkit lens help you rethink how you apply it?
Good question to ponder.
Thanks for tuning in and stay strategic.